Guy asked me what didn't click for me after a date. Should I be honest? I went on a date last night. We met on a dating app. His pictures made him look a bit different, and he was very kind over text. When we met up, I was surprised to see he was a much bigger person than one would believe after seeing his photos. Also, I noticed he smelled pretty bad. Like sweat. He was very nice. We went out and went bowling and continued to talk. He has very nice features, pretty eyes, a nice smile and cute nose. After he left, he texted me saying he had a wonderful time and wanted to see me again, and I was honest with him that I wasn't really feeling it, but I'd like to remain friends. I feel like the girl in all those ridiculous posts people make. He drove an hour to meet me and then paid our bill at the bowling alley before I had a chance to object. And I barely gave him anything other than a rejection. I feel awful. He's a super kind person and I just felt like I really screwed him over, but obviously I'm not going to force myself to do stuff with him that I am uncomfortable with. That's unfair to the both of us. He asked me what it was about him that didn't click for me, as he's always trying to improve himself. I don't think telling him you're bigger than I expected and smell bad, I'm not attracted to you, is a fair thing to say. But I honestly can't think of anything else. He's a perfect gentleman, opened all the doors for me, asked permission to place his arm around me, and he was a good listener and also funny and charming. I think he's got the personality down pat, but again, I can't force myself to feel attraction. I also want to be more concrete in that I am not interested and I don't wish to waste his time. Ugh. What do I say? Update: this got a lot more attention than I was expecting it to. I got a lot of great advice though and some mixed reviews. I answered him honestly. I didn't bring up weight as I think other people are likely to enjoy his body type and it's not a big factor in his dating life. He wasn't morbidly obese, just too big for my liking, unfortunately. I brought up the smell delicately, just that I noticed a sweaty smell and I understood it was probably due to his highly laborious job and the fact that we were both nervous, and I recommended a nice cologne but moved on from there. I told him how I felt about his good qualities, and while I unfortunately wasn't attracted to him physically, that doesn't mean other women won't be. He thanked me and said he appreciated my honesty and that despite it not working out he was still glad we met and would like to remain friends. So everything is good. Comment. Say something positive first, list a few things you like about him. Then tell him that you didn't feel the pictures represented him as he is right now. And do tell him about body odor. But do emphasize that he is not ugly, but cute, just needs to work on these things. And end on another couple of compliments about the things he did or said that really resonated with you, and that is why you do want a friendship. I'm glad you did that. I went on a date with a woman a few years ago at the Botanical Gardens, and for me it was the most amazing date ever. And I was crushed when she said she didn't want to go out again. A few days later I asked why, stressing that she didn't owe me an answer and I wasn't trying to change her mind, I just wanted to grow and reflect on how I can be better. And she did what you did, specifically mentioned some things I did that she really liked, like making sure she got home safely afterwards and making really good eye contact, but she also said that I didn't really ask questions about her and spent most of the date talking rather than listening. And in retrospect, I had done that because I can get chatty when I'm nervous. I was able to really keep that in mind in the future though, and I really appreciated her honest feedback because it helped me become a person that was more enjoyable to go on a date with. I'm glad it worked out for both of you, because I totally get the reluctance many women have to doing this, since many men can react poorly to that kind of constructive criticism. Good for you both for handling it so maturely. Good for you for handling it maturely. A guy asked me once why I had decided not to go out with him after talking for a while from Tinder. And I answered him honestly and he got extremely butt-butt and basically told me I was lying, lol. But even if you give him feedback, let him know that you still didn't feel any attraction. He might come back after he addressed the things you pointed out and feel he is entitled to a do-over date. Let him know this advice is only new people he meets going forward. I'd be honest about the smell, that's an easy fix for him and could improve his luck. He already knows he's overweight, so I would just say I don't find you physically attractive and he'll probably get the hint, no need to be specific. Also emphasize everything you said about his good points. Next story 2. Me husband have been married for almost 5 years. Is his friendship with the old co-worker okay? I and my husband have been dating for 10 years. This year is our 5th wedding anniversary. Earlier this year we lost our baby in childbirth. It has been very difficult for me, however we have started being intimate again. He used to have an assistant at his job, almost 5 years ago. She moved to a different building almost a year ago, but they still carry on a friendship. I don't mind friends of the opposite sex, with boundaries. However, this past month I noticed that they have sent over 1,000 text messages to each other in a span of 2 weeks. I came across this because I had billing issues with my phone provider. I noticed a lot of messages going back and forth all hours of the night and day. I confronted him and he said it's work related and he's trying to help her get promoted. Which is why it started up this month. Some of the messages are during his days off while I'm sleeping. There are a few chains that are literally go on for 24 hours. He says she's in a BF/GF relationship and they have a kid together. When I asked about the messages, he already deleted them. He deletes a lot of messages, so this is normal for him. However, texting someone that much isn't. He's very protective with privacy, which I respect. He says nothing is going on. I even asked if would want an open marriage and he says no. He says if I read his messages then and I don't find anything, then there no trust and we need to separate. I know I won't find anything because he's really clever and I probably already deleted everything if anything. I don't want to break his trust and separate, but I can feel it in my gut that something is going on and it breaks my heart because I truly love this man. I can't shake the feeling. Do you think anything is going on? I don't have proof, only a feeling. Comment. If I'm being honest, I've never met a single person who deletes their texts. I've known PPL who archive texts, but never delete. The amount of times I've needed to know something from quite some time ago has been too many. Maybe he is that rare person that does, but it sounds fishy just from that alone. My friends' phones were always to the brink with messages, they only deleted them when they were told their storage was full. Android friends that had iPhones like myself just hoarded them. One kept everything, it was too painful to delete anything for them, they were worried they might need it for some reason or another. Maybe we are just the odd ones out? This is a hard one. At first I was thinking it's normal, but then I read more of your post and I come up with something's fishy. I'd sit down on an early evening or weekend afternoon, quiet, no TV or phones, and talk about this. Not in an accusatory manner, but seek to understand why he is doing what he is doing, communicate how it makes you feel, how much you love him. People find help in many different ways, and as much as it sounds a bit funky, I strongly believe in trust but verify. Is the phone account in your name? You might be able to recover some of the deleted messages. Best of luck. What are you going to do if he is cheating? You say you love him and you asked about an open relationship. Clear your trust in him is fractured and he, by your words, is smart enough to get away with it. He has also got you twisted around his will, with that privacy BS. There is a difference between privacy and secrecy, and this is clearly secretive and defensive behavior on his part. So you need to decide what you want to do in the worst case scenario. You need the truth. Get a keylogger / or an app that allows you to see his messages. That is the only way to know what is truly going on. My experience is it's always safer to trust your gut. Also IMO, if there's nothing to hide, then it shouldn't be a problem to allow a spouse access to any / all messages etc. Especially when it would put an issue or concern to rest. Of course this has limits. I wouldn't expect anyone to have every single text or message ever made checked, that would be overkill. but a specific person or problem for a short time. Sure. And why wouldn't a spouse want to put their partner's mind at ease? So that being said, I would make it known that I have concerns and ask to see the messages between the two of them. Explain why. Personally, I don't believe co-ed friendships between people in serious relationships are smart. There's just too much that could go wrong. Anyway, if he refuses to save and allow you to view the messages between them, that is when I would start to seriously worry and look harder at the situation. At that point, should it occur, either cross-check messages to make sure some haven't been deleted, look in deleted folder too, or maybe even hire a PI. Hiding things is rarely a good sign. If deleting messages is normal for him, then fine, but if there's a difference between saving space or clearing clutter and hiding,